Is Diddy on the verge of losing everything? His empire, his multi-million-dollar brand, and even his personal freedom are now hanging by a thread. Legal battles, rumors, and shocking accusations have surrounded him for months, and things have taken an even darker turn as his name becomes tied to one of Hollywood's most intense ongoing investigations. Diddy's future might not be as secure as it once seemed. But what's really happening behind the scenes? Is his empire truly collapsing, or is this just the calm before an even bigger storm? Stick around, because what we're about to uncover might change everything you thought you knew about the music mogul. Diddy's once untouchable empire is unraveling in ways no one could have predicted. The mogul who built a fortune across music, fashion, and media is now entangled in a web of serious legal issues. Over the years, multiple high-profile lawsuits have surfaced, accusing him of disturbing behavior. Everything from workplace abuse to sexual assault. But then came the biggest shock: Diddy is now under federal investigation. The allegations are severe: trafficking, abuse, exploitation. And what began as isolated claims has grown into a wide-reaching case with new evidence painting a far darker picture of his behind-the-scenes dealings. As the legal pressure intensifies, Diddy's image as a powerful, untouchable figure is cracking. His celebrated legacy is being overshadowed by the weight of these accusations. With both his personal life and his career in jeopardy, Diddy is facing a future more uncertain than ever. And now, in the middle of this storm, he may be looking to one final lifeline: a presidential pardon. But this isn't just about clearing his name. It's about influence, strategy, and using every connection he has left. After decades of shaping culture, managing artists, and commanding power, Diddy may be preparing to play his last big card. Here's the twist: Diddy believes his influence within the African-American community gives him unique leverage. With the 2028 election approaching, he hopes that if he plays his cards right, he could convince the right political figures to intervene on his behalf. It's a move straight out of the political playbook: use the power of influence to sway the masses and potentially secure a pardon from a sympathetic leader. But there's a major complication. Diddy may not be the only one pursuing this path. Nicki Minaj, once his ally, has also stepped into the political arena, but not for him. She's reportedly lobbying for a pardon for her husband, and her timing could not be worse for Diddy. As she pushes her own agenda behind the scenes, the political favor Diddy hoped to secure might slip away. While Diddy tries to play the long game, Nicki's swift and highly strategic moves may be stealing the spotlight. The question remains: does Diddy still have enough influence to shift this in his favor, or has Nicki already outmaneuvered him? But the situation gets even more complicated. Even if Diddy succeeds in securing a presidential pardon, it may not save him. Why? Because a federal pardon only covers federal charges, not state charges. And the state-level accusations against him are extremely serious. Federal prison, often mocked as Club Fed, is known for being more controlled, cleaner, and safer compared to state prisons. But state facilities? That's a completely different world. State prisons are rough, overcrowded, violent, and far less forgiving. High-profile inmates often face extreme hostility from both inmates and staff. If convicted on state charges, Diddy could find himself in a place where none of his influence, money, or connections mean anything. The comfort and privileges he might expect in federal custody wouldn't apply. The harsh reality of an LA County or California state prison is something entirely different, and something Diddy may soon face. This might be the fate Diddy is waking up to every day now. Even if a federal pardon comes through, state charges could still land him behind bars in one of the toughest environments imaginable. If he thinks federal prison is bad, he's in for a life-changing shock. Will Diddy's empire survive the psychological toll of the prison system, or is this the beginning of an entirely new nightmare? As if the legal battles and the looming threat of prison weren't enough, Diddy is now facing something equally damaging: his public image. For years, Diddy carefully crafted the persona of a man who had it all: power, wealth, and unmatched influence. But with the storm surrounding him now, the cracks are beginning to show, and his PR team is scrambling to control the narrative. Recently, the Kardashians made a joke about him on their show, and it hit him harder than expected. Instead of brushing it off, Diddy lashed out. His spokesperson tried to downplay it, claiming, "Everyone kicks you while you're down." But the damage was already done. People are watching, and they are starting to question whether Diddy still has the strength or influence to weather this storm. The irony is striking. Diddy spent years building his empire by taking down competitors, throwing shade, and manipulating public perception to stay on top. Now, those same tactics are coming back to haunt him. The tools he once used to silence critics and shape the media are now being turned against him. His PR team, once seen as a well-oiled machine, is struggling to keep him from fading into the shadows. What makes this even more complicated is the hypocrisy now surfacing. For years, Diddy has been quick to silence women who accused him of abuse, relying on powerful legal teams and industry connections. But now, with the tables turned, people are questioning why he responds aggressively to a joke from the Kardashians, yet stayed silent while his accusers were mocked, bullied, or dismissed. The public is beginning to see Diddy's reactions as a sign of desperation, not confidence. And it's not just the Kardashians taking shots anymore. The entire media ecosystem seems to be piling on. Diddy's reputation is in free fall. The man who once symbolized power and resilience is now being openly laughed at, and his carefully constructed image is collapsing in real time. Can Diddy ever recover from this? Or is his reputation permanently destroyed? While Diddy struggles with legal battles, public humiliation, and the looming threat of prison, someone else is gaining a significant advantage in the race for a presidential pardon: Nicki Minaj. Nicki, once part of Diddy's inner circle, is now in the middle of her own political maneuvering, and she's leaving Diddy far behind. Her focus isn't on Diddy at all. She's working tirelessly to secure a pardon for her husband, Kenneth Petty. What's surprising is how quickly she's gained momentum, aligning herself with powerful figures within the Trump administration and lobbying for her husband's release. Nicki's approach is calculated, direct, and extremely effective. While Diddy tries to leverage his influence within the African-American community, Nicki is using her massive global fan base, her sharp political instincts, and her rising influence to get exactly what she wants. And here's the kicker: many believe Nicki's chances are actually better than Diddy's. Despite her own controversies, Nicki has maintained a more favorable public image. Meanwhile, Diddy has burned countless bridges and built a reputation filled with controversy and allegations. Nicki's connections to Trump could open doors, and her devoted, global fan base gives her an edge Diddy simply cannot compete with right now. This power shift is a bitter pill for Diddy. For years, he was the one pulling strings, controlling narratives, and shaping outcomes. But now, Nicki's political savvy and her willingness to play the game have given her the upper hand. While Diddy hoped to rely on political favors and old alliances to secure his future, Nicki is ensuring that she and her husband stay a step ahead. As Diddy watches this unfold, a sense of inevitability begins to settle in. This is no longer about personal influence, it's about who holds the most sway in the right circles. And right now, Nicki Minaj's power is undeniable. Will Diddy find a way to outmaneuver her? Or has Nicki already secured her husband's freedom while Diddy stands on the sidelines, watching the walls close in? Diddy's world is unraveling in real time. The empire he built through ambition and resilience is now crumbling before his eyes, and the stakes have never been higher. Beyond the legal cases and the threat of prison, Diddy is facing something even more devastating: the destruction of his public persona and the loss of the world he once ruled. Diddy's entire identity has been built on power, wealth, and influence, and now all three are slipping away. For decades, he stood at the top, calling the shots in the music industry, the fashion world, and in business. His name became synonymous with success, and he built a legacy as a cultural icon. But all of that is now being tested. The accusations, the investigations, and the wave of public ridicule are chipping away at the once unshakable empire he created. The real question now is whether Diddy can ever return to the position of influence he once held. The Kardashians have openly mocked him. His PR team is scrambling to regain control. And his future, both in the music industry and beyond, seems uncertain. For someone who has always been in control, it's difficult to imagine Diddy, now pushed into the shadows, ever reclaiming that same level of power and respect. What's at stake is far bigger than just legal consequences. Diddy stands to lose his status as one of the most powerful figures in entertainment. The public perception of him has shifted, no longer seen as a mogul, but as a man under fire. And the longer this drama continues, the harder it will be for him to climb back to the top. The fallout extends well beyond Diddy himself. His family, his businesses, and his allies are all feeling the impact of his legal troubles. His brand, once seen as an unstoppable force, is now tainted. For Diddy, the stakes are no longer just about winning court battles, they're about surviving the collapse of everything he spent decades building. Will he be able to rebuild? Or will the weight of these allegations leave him a permanent outcast in the world he once dominated? As the dust settles over Diddy's empire, one thing is certain: his future is far from predictable. The mogul who once stood at the pinnacle of entertainment is now fighting for his freedom, his reputation, and his place in history. The legal battles, the public mockery, the political maneuvering, everything is converging into one terrifying question. But here's the twist. While Diddy is battling for his life and legacy, his biggest challenge might not be the law at all. It might be the shifting tides of influence. Nicki Minaj's rising political savvy, the consequences of his past actions, and the ruthless nature of public opinion are closing in on him from every direction. Even if he walks away from the courtroom unscathed, can he ever reclaim the power he once held? Will the public ever see him the same way again? And while Diddy strategizes his next move, the world is watching. The music industry, the media, and even his own fan base, they are all waiting to see how this saga ends. Will Diddy rise again? Or will he become just another fallen mogul, a cautionary tale of power lost and influence squandered? The truth is, this story is far from over. This isn't just the fall of a mogul, it's the unraveling of a man who once had everything, now forced to confront what happens when it all slips away. And one thing is certain: whatever comes next, nobody saw it coming.